I'm Chris Bell, physiotherapist for the Western Bulldogs. I'm here today on behalf of the Victorian Amateur Football Association and LifeCare. We're going to be running through some taping techniques and some injury prevention tips. Hope you enjoy. Okay, today we're going to do taping for the posterior cruciate ligament. This ligament is often called the PCL. The ligament's often damaged by the ruckman, conventional ruckman. It's often associated with a contact trauma to the anterior part of the tibia, the front part of the shin, when the knee's in a bent position. This often forces the tibia to be glided back on the femur and it damages the posterior cruciate ligament. It can sometimes have associated posterior knee pain from the capsule being irritated at the back part of the knee. So the taping we're going to do today is going to have two purposes. It's going to try and draw forward the tibia to take load off the PCL, and then we're going to do a hyperextension taping of the knee to make sure we avoid that extension pain that can be associated with the PCL. So before we start our taping, we once again apply Fixamol, a protective coating of tape to the back part of the knee to prevent any skin irritation. Since the knee is very much a movable joint and you get a lot of load through the back part of the knee during general running and activity, it's important to protect the back part of the knee in particular. So that's where we've placed our Fixamol. So it's important that the knee has a little bit of a flexion angle in it when you do this taping. The idea of that is that you get a really good anterior translation of the actual tibia when you're trying to draw the tibia forward in relation to the femur. So, happy there? So in this position, you place the stretch tape at the back part of the knee. You apply some force to the tibia, gliding the knee forward. Apply some tape, so you glide the tibia forward. You apply some distraction type force with the tape, coming up and inserting on the inside part of the knee, like so. Okay, you repeat these strips, typically 2 to 3 each side of the knee. So pulling up, anterior translating the tibia, adding some load on the tape, coming up and finishing the load, the taping on the inside part of the knee. So we do 3 of those strips, pulling the tibia forward in relation to the femur. So once again, holding at the back, gently translating the knee forward, the top part of the tibia forward, pulling the tape, coming up, and then attaching to the tape to the inside part of the thigh. And once again, we repeat this both sides of the knees, 3 strips each side. Staying at the back, attaching the tape, anteriorly translating the tibia, apply a little bit of pressure to the tape, coming up and sticking on the outside part of the thigh. Once again, reinforcing, pulling forward, coming up and stick. And the third time, once again, coming forward, just coming over the tibial tuberosity on the front part of the knee is a little bit of a guide for you in terms of where you should be crossing over. Coming up and sticking on the outside part of the thigh. Now in this position, once you've finished your stretches of strip tape, you get some Fixamol and you apply the Fixamol to hold these strips into position before you apply the hyperextension taping. So once again, they just hold that tape in place. Okay, so the Fixamol doesn't do anything to the actual taping other than hold that stretch tape in place. Now we've got the posterior cruciate ligament supported by the tape. Now we're going to reinforce this taping and hold it on basically with a hyperextension knee taping to look after the capsule that can be irritated at the back part of the knee. So you ask your athlete to stand up, keeping their knee in a bent position and turning around to face away from you. Face away. Now from this position we're going to apply the hyperextension taping. So starting on the back part of the knee, a bit more knee bend. The knee should be in a bent position. You can change the aggressiveness of your hyperextension taping depending on how much knee bend the athlete's in. Coming around the femur. Once again, making a cross at the back part of the knee. And reinforcing that with 2 crosses on the back part of the knee. Once again, the position of the knee joint in a flex position is going to dictate how tight this hyperextension taping is in terms of how much extension it's going to restrict. You then lock off the stretch tape with some rigid tape, and stand up for me. And so the athlete will then have some good extension movement, but also protection from the posterior cruciate ligament.